Interview skills. An interview is required for almost every job opening in the United States today. For many jobs, applicants actually go through a few or even several interviews. The interview is the final hurdle in the job application process, and it's the single most important element in that job application process. Effective communication skills are absolutely vital for job success. Today's jobs require more skill in dealing with people. And this is the number one thing our advisory board members mention over and over, is that students, graduates, are not good at communication. So if there's one thing that you should be working on, it is those communication skills, both verbal and written. Personal qualities. This is an important piece of the interview. So they're trying to find aspects of your character. Are you responsible? Are you reliable? Are you honest? So what kind of things do employers look for? They look for these positive personal qualities. Most skills can be learned on the job, and business owners know this. Design managers know this. But personal qualities cannot be learned. They're there. So we can learn skills that are directly applicable to the job, but those personal qualities are either there or they're not. Good interviewers are looking for each applicant's strength and limitations. So the strengths that they're looking for your experience. What kind of experience do you have? They're looking, of course, for your knowledge and for your skills. They're looking for those personal qualities that will help you, the applicant, do good in the job. Limitations. They're going to ask you questions to try to pull out your limitations. This would be lack of experience in specific situations, or lack of knowledge and lack of skills. Personal qualities that prevent the applicant from doing a good job will also try to be exposed. So there are 8 interview skills that we can talk about. Number 1, be prepared. Show you care. Be positive about yourself and about others. Say what you can do, not what you can't do. Match your strengths to the job. So study that job posting and match your skills and strengths to that specific job. And support that position with your facts. Stress your personal qualities. And of course, use body language effectively. The first interview skill is be prepared. So what should a person know or prepare in advance and bring to the interview? Well, of course, you need to know the date and time of the interview. If possible, try to find out the name of the interviewer or interviewers. Probably you're going to have more than one person interviewing you. Make sure you know how to get to the place where the interview is taking place. Make sure you have copies of your resume. Of course, make sure that you're wearing proper clothes, that they're clean, well ironed. List questions that you would like to ask, and it's okay to walk into an interview with a notebook with those questions listed. Many times when you're in an interview, your brain is going to be really moving fast and really kind of preoccupied with the interview itself. You'll forget what those questions were. Know what your strengths are for this job. And know roughly some ideas on how you'd like to be compensated. Be careful of that, though. Try not to talk about specific dollar amounts during your first interview. One of the interview skills that we mentioned is stress personal qualities. So what are the most important personal qualities for jobs? Think about that. And the last interview skill is use body language effectively. What does this mean? The handshake. Of course, you want to be firm but not too strong. No floppy fish handshakes. Your facial expressions. Make sure you have good eye contact. Be happy and positive. Avoid any of that negative body language, like folding your arms or shaking your head from side to side, being too stiff. So the types of questions, we can break them into 7 different types. Number 1, direct requests for information. Number 2, questions on strengths and questions on weaknesses. The hypothetical question, follow-up questions, stress questions, how you handle stress, and then just the general broad questions. So of those 7 types of questions, what do you think is the most difficult type to answer? Think about that and why. And then think about how would you answer? So the interview stages, of course, you're trying to establish a rapport. They're going to ask about education, about your knowledge and your skill. They're going to ask about your work history. They're going to ask questions that relate to your personal qualities and then tell you about the job. Because remember, you're interviewing them as much as they are interviewing you. Ask what questions that you have to them. Make sure you do that. Make sure you have questions. You need to go into an interview with questions to ask them. And then, of course, at the end, the interviewer will close the interview. So typically, this is a pretty traditional order of an interview. So you can pretty much expect this is the way it's going to go.